Hi, this is Bobby Thompson with Crochet Guru, and today I'm going to show you how to make these crocheted ballerina baby booties. The materials needed: some soft worsted weight yarn, and I'm using the Red Heart Love brand, and the color I'm using in this demonstration is Rusty Pink. You will need an F5 crochet hook, a yarn needle, a stitch marker, or you can just use a different color of yarn for your stitch marker. You will need 4 buttons, and 2 of those buttons need to be small enough to fit into a single crochet stitch. And the color and shape of your button is up to you. I prefer to use buttons that match my booties. You will also need some ribbon, and the size of ribbon that I use is 5/8 of an inch wide, and the color I'm using in this demonstration is brown. You will need some thread and a thread needle. The thread needs to be the same color as the button, and the alligator clip and the lighter are optional, and I use these 2 items for making my bows, and I will show you what they're used for later. Okay, so the booties that I am making today will fit a 3 to 6 month old baby, but if you want to make these booties in a different size, all you need to do is use a bigger or smaller hook, and the pattern stays the same. So just look below to find what size you need to use. Okay, so starting with the foundation chain, we're going to chain 10. Okay, so starting with your slip knot, we're going to go ahead and chain 10. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so in round 1 we're going to place 2 single crochets in the second chain from the hook, and then we're going to single crochet into the next 7 chains, and then place 4 single crochets into the last chain. Okay, so locate the second chain from your hook. Go ahead and place 2 single crochets in that second chain. So there's 1 and 2 single crochets. Okay, so now we're going to place 1 single crochet into the next 7 chains. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets, 5 single crochets, 6, and 7. Okay, so now there's 1 more chain left, and we're going to go ahead and place 4 single crochets into that last chain. So there's 1, there's 2 single crochets into the same chain, there's 3 single crochets into the same chain, and there's 4 single crochets. Okay, so now we're going to be working on the opposite side of the chain. We're going to place 1 single crochet into the next 7 chains, and then we're going to place 2 single crochets into the last 2 chains. This will be a total of 22 single crochets, and the 22 single crochets counts both sides of the chain. Okay, so flip your work around and work on the opposite side of the chain. Remember to single crochet around the loose strand as you work. Okay, so we're going to place 1 single crochet into the next 7 chains. Okay, so now there's 2 strands in each chain, and I'm just going to go through the top strand. You can go through both strands if you like, but it's just up to you. Okay, so crocheting into the opposite side of the chain and over my loose strand, there's 1 single crochet, there's 2, 3, there's 4, there's 5, 6, and 7 single crochets. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place 2 single crochets into the last chain, and that's going to be a total of 22 single crochets altogether, and that counts both sides of the chain. Okay, so there's 1 single crochet into the last chain, and then insert your hook into the same chain, and there's 1 more single crochet, so there should be 22 single crochets altogether in that round. Okay, so this is what round 2 looks like, and if you ever want the full written instructions for these booties, click on the link in the description box below. Okay, so I just placed my stitch marker, and I just placed that under the last single crochet that I just made. And starting out in round 2, we're going to place 2 single crochets into the next 2 single crochets. So locate your next single crochet, insert your hook, and place 1 single crochet. Now insert your hook into the same stitch and place 1 more single crochet. Okay, so in the next single crochet stitch, we're going to place another 2 single crochets. So there's 1 and 2. Okay, now what we're going to do is place 1 single crochet into the next 7 single crochets. So locate your next stitch, and there's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so in the next 4 stitches, we're going to place 2 single crochets. So locate your next stitch. There's 1 single crochet, and place 1 more single crochet into the same stitch. So there's 2. Okay, the next stitch, place 2 more single crochets. So there's 1 and 2. Place another 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So there's 1, 2, and then repeat that 1 more time. Next stitch, place 2 more, 1 and 2. Okay, so now what we're going to do in the next 7 stitches or single crochets, we're going to place 7 single crochets. So there's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so we're going to place 2 single crochets into the last 2 single crochets. So there's 1 single crochet, insert your hook into the same stitch and place 2 single crochets. And in the very last stitch on that round, place 2 more single crochets. So there's 1 and 2, and that should be right above your stitch marker. And that will be a total of 30 single crochets in round 2. In round 3, we're going to place 2 single crochets into the next 3 single crochets. We're going to single crochet into the next 25 single crochets, and then we're going to place 2 single crochets into the last 2 single crochets for a total of 35 single crochets altogether. Okay, so remember to move your stitch marker up to the next round and go ahead and place 2 single crochets into the next 3 single crochets. Okay, so locating your first stitch, go ahead and place 2 single crochets. There's 1 and 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Locate the next stitch, place another 2 single crochets. So there's 1 and 2 single crochets into the same stitch. In the next stitch, we're going to place another 2 single crochets. There's 1 and 2. Okay, so we're going to place 1 single crochet into the next 25 single crochet stitches. So locate your next stitch, go ahead and place 1 single crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and notice I'm working around the booty. There's 12, 13, moving on to the other side, 14, 15, there's 16, 17, there's 18, 19, there's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Okay, so we're going to place 2 single crochets in the last 2 single crochet stitches. So there's 1 single crochet, insert your hook into the same stitch, and there's 2 single crochet, and in the very last stitch in the round, place 2 more single crochet. So there's 1 and 2, and that should be a total of 35 single crochets altogether. Go ahead and read round 4 on your own, but before I move on, I want you to notice the pattern inside the parentheses. And that just means that we're going to repeat what's inside the parentheses 3 times. Okay, so starting off in round 4, we're going to place 2 single crochets into the next single crochet, and then 1 single crochet into the next single crochet. We're going to repeat this 3 times. Okay, so go ahead and locate your next stitch, and we're going to go ahead and place 2 single crochets. So there's 1 and 2, and in the next single crochet stitch we're going to only place 1 single crochet. So 1 single crochet, and we're going to repeat this 2 more times. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, so there's 1 and 2, and then there's 1 single crochet in the next stitch, so there's 1. Repeat this 1 more time, so 2 more in that next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So there's your 1 single crochet. Okay, so now we're going to place 1 single crochet into the next 27 single crochets. Okay, I'm going to speed up the track just a little bit. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, there's 12, 13, 14, 15, there's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. Okay, now in the next single crochet we're going to place 2 single crochets. So locate the next single crochet, that should be the one right before the stitch marker. So there's 1 and 2, and then in the very last single crochet right above the stitch marker we're only going to place 1 single crochet. So there's your 1 single crochet. Okay, in rounds 5 through 7 we're going to single crochet in each single crochet around. Okay, so the next 3 rounds will be very simple. We're just going to single crochet in every stitch around. So I'm just going to show you round 5, and then I'm going to let you do round 6 and 7 on your own. Okay, so round 5 we're just going to single crochet in each stitch around. So this time I'm just going to speed up the track and show you how to do this very quickly. Okay, so now go ahead and do rounds 6 and 7 on your own and make sure there's 39 single crochets in each round. In round 8, we're going to single crochet 2 together. This is also called a single crochet decrease. And then we're going to place 1 single crochet into the next single crochet. We're going to repeat this pattern all the way around our booty. Starting in round 8, we're going to go ahead and single crochet 2 stitches together. So insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull through the stitch. There should be 2 loops on your hook. Now insert your hook into the second stitch, yarn over the hook and draw through the stitch. There should be 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again and pull the hook through all 3 loops on your hook. And that is how you single crochet 2 stitches together. Okay, so now we're just going to place 1 single crochet into the next single crochet. Okay, so let's continue that pattern all the way around the booty. So go ahead and do a single crochet decrease, and then 1 single crochet. And then 1 single crochet decrease, and then 1 single crochet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up the track again because you should have the pattern down by now. So just remember to do 1 single crochet decrease and then 1 single crochet. We're going to just do this all the way around our booty. So single crochet 2 together and then 1 decrease, single crochet 2 together and then 1 decrease. I just continue to do this all the way around. Okay, so just make sure that you're placing 1 single crochet in that last stitch above the stitch marker. So there's your 1 single crochet, and that should be your last stitch in this round. And there should be 26 stitches altogether. Okay, so notice this next set of instructions is actually a row instead of a round. So in row 9, we're going to single crochet 2 together. We're going to single crochet into the next 2 single crochets, and we're going to repeat this 2 times, and then slip stitch into the next single crochet. This will be a total of 7 single crochets. Okay, so we're going to start out by single crocheting 2 together. So insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over the hook and pull through the stitch. There should be 2 loops on your hook. Insert it into the second stitch, yarn over and pull through the stitch. There should be 3 loops on your hook. And then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Okay, so in the next 2 single crochets, we're just going to place 1 single crochet. So there's 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet. And then we're going to go ahead and repeat that same pattern. So go ahead and single crochet 2 together. This is also called a single crochet decrease, so whatever you prefer to call it. So go ahead and single crochet those 2 together. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just single crochet into the next stitch, and then in the next stitch we're just going to add 1 more single crochet. Okay, so to end the row, all we're going to do is just add a slip stitch. So draw through the stitch and then draw through the loop on your hook, and that's the end of row 9. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do in row 10 is turn our work, and we're going to work on the wrong side of the booty. We're going to single crochet 2 together and then single crochet into the next single crochet. We're going to single crochet 2 together again and then slip stitch into the next single crochet and fasten off. This will be a total of 3 single crochets. Okay, so first turn your work around, and we're going to be working on the wrong side of the booty. We're going to first single crochet 2 together. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, bring through the stitch, enter it into the next stitch, yarn over, bring through that stitch, and then pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And now what we're going to do is just single crochet into the next single crochet. So insert your hook into that next stitch and then just add that single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet 2 together 1 more time. So make sure to go through both stitches. Okay, so now all we're going to do is just slip stitch into that next stitch. This is not going to be where the stitch marker is, so that's not a big deal, but go ahead and just pull through the stitch and the loop on your hook. And then now all we're going to do is just fasten off. So grab your scissors, making sure to leave a few inches for weaving in, and make your cut. Okay, so just grab your yarn needle, go ahead and weave in those tail ends, and I just kind of go back and forth through the stitches. And then whenever you feel safe, go ahead and just cut those off. Now there are 2 loose strands, so go ahead and just weave both of those strands in and then make your cut. Okay, now we're going to move on to the shoe strap, and we're going to chain 30. 30 is a pretty safe length for most babies, but if you feel the baby's leg is bigger, add 5 more chains, and if you feel the baby's leg is smaller, subtract 5 chains. But I feel that 30 is pretty safe. Starting with your slip knot, go ahead and chain 30. And I am speeding up the track on this. On row 1, we're going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook. We're going to single crochet into the remaining 28 single crochets. It'll be a total of 29 single crochets. Go ahead and locate your second chain from the hook and then place a single crochet. Continue to single crochet down the entire chain. Okay, so just keep single crocheting down this chain, and I will meet you back here and show you what we do next. When you are done single crocheting that row, grab your scissors and cut your yarn, leaving about 4 to 6 inches of yarn left so that you can weave this in with a yarn needle. Now we're just going to fasten this off by dragging that tail end through the loop on your hook and just tighten it up with your fingers. And then when you're ready, grab a yarn needle, thread the yarn through the yarn needle, and weave both of your tail ends through the project. So I'm just going to start weaving my tail end through the top of my project, and I'm going to go back and forth through the stitches. And then when you feel safe with what you're weaving in, go ahead and cut that off with the scissors, and then go ahead and weave in the second tail end. Okay, so these are the buttons that I'm going to use for my booty. I have 2 big buttons and I have 2 small heart buttons. It doesn't matter which kind of buttons you use, just make sure that you have 2 small buttons that can fit inside of a single crochet stitch. Grab your thread and thread needle and make sure the thread matches the buttons. You are also going to want your shoe strap and your small button as well. Thread your thread needle and tie a knot at the end of the thread. I like to double up on my thread. Place a small button on the end of your shoe strap and make sure it's on the side where you just weaved in your loose yarn strands. Go ahead and just weave the thread in and out of those buttonholes. Okay, so when you're done weaving in and out of the buttonholes, go ahead and turn your work around and go ahead and just weave in and out of those back stitches, and that way it will secure it more firmly. Now grab your booty and face the heel of the booty towards you. Now we're going to insert the shoe strap into the heel of the booty. Now locate the back of the booty and place the shoe strap about 4 to 5 single crochets apart. Grab your strap and pull it through the top of the single crochet with your crochet hook. Now it's going to be a little tight, but just work it through that stitch. Now insert your hook 4 to 5 stitches away from where you placed the strap and continue to pull the strap through that single crochet stitch. Now pull the straps so that they are equal in length on both sides of the booty. Now grab your ribbon, and this is the ribbon I'm going to use. It's 5/8 of an inch wide, and I'm going to use about 22 inches in length. Take the end of your ribbon and fold it back. Grab the fold with your fingers, leaving about 2.5 inches in length, and then fold the ribbon forward toward you. Grab that fold with your fingers and then bend the ribbon back. Now grab it with your fingers and fold the ribbon forward one more time. Go ahead and grab your scissors and cut the ribbon. Notice that I'm leaving my ends a little longer than the rest, and this is because I'm going to shape the ends later, but it's not a big deal if you keep the ends the same length as the rest. Okay, now is the time to grab your alligator clip, and the clip is optional. You can do this by just using your fingers instead, but the clip does make it easier to make the bow. Open the clip and place it in the center of the folded ribbon. Thread your needle, and this time it does not matter which kind of thread you use because you're not going to see this anyway. Now weave the thread in and out of the ribbon folds. Now make sure you're weaving in and out of each fold. When you're finished, go ahead and remove your clip. Now pull the thread tightly and wrap the thread around the center of the bow. You will also want to weave in and out of the center of the bow as well. I like to bend one end of the ribbon down so that both ends are facing down, but this is up to you and what you like. Now I just stitch this into place. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab my button. I'm using a bigger button for this. I'm going to put it right in the center of my bow, and I'm just going to stitch the button onto my bow. Go ahead and weave in and out of the buttonholes a couple of times. And then when you're finished, don't cut the thread because we're going to use it to stitch the bow onto the booty. Now I'm going to cut the ends of my bow at an angle, but you can cut your ends however you want. Grab the lighter if you have one and quickly burn the ends of the ribbon. I do this because it seals the ribbon and keeps it from fraying. I'm going to stitch my bow to the side of my booty, and then when I make the other booty, I will stitch my bow to the opposite side. Okay, so now I'm going to use my doll to show you how the booty will look once it's all finished, and I also want to show you how the strap works as well. Okay, so once you place the booty on the foot, make sure you cross the straps in the front of the leg. Now insert the button into a single crochet on the back of the leg. And this is what the back of the booty looks like. And this is what the finished booty looks like. Now go ahead and make your second booty the same way, but remember to place the bow on the opposite side of the booty. For the written pattern, click on the link in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy these booties as much as I do.